everyone! So it's that time of year when there's lots of sweet treats lying around, lots of mince pies, chocolate, sweets, that kind of thing. Things that don't really make you feel too good and they leave you with a bit of a sugar hangover. So I'm going to give you a Christmas gift. My gift to you this year is a recipe that is really, really indulgent, but kind of you have less consequences, you feel good eating it. So I'm going to show you how to make raw chocolate bark. It's really, really simple, really quick to make, and in my opinion it's just as tasty and actually more satisfying than other chocolate. And it's a really, really good recipe to make and then kind of sit and watch Christmas films snuggled up in front of the fire, or just when your body feels like it wants something a little bit better. So first of all we're going to need, you're going to need a tray, and the first thing we're going to do is put this into the freezer just for about 10 minutes or so. Okay, so first things first, we're going to make the chocolate. So I'm going to be using some raw cold pressed coconut oil here, which I've melted down, so it's about 2 tablespoons and then just melted, and then just allow it to cool a little bit. So in that goes into the bowl. And then I'm going to be using cacao powder. Now cacao powder is literally the superfood of superfoods. It is full of like magnesium and iron, and there's way more antioxidants than blueberries. It's had very, very little processing in comparison to things like cocoa or, you know, conventional chocolate. So I'm going to pop in 2 tablespoons. Lastly, actually, I'm just going to pop in a little bit of sweetener. Now I'm using maple syrup just because it's a really good light unrefined sugar, but if you prefer something else then you can mix it up and use something else like date syrup or something like that. So I'm just going to pop in the maple syrup. There's about a spoonful in there, but obviously you can adjust it to if you like it a bit sweeter or less sweet. That's up to you. And then you just mix this together just to make a nice kind of melted chocolate consistency. So now I'm just going to move that to the side and I'm going to talk about our toppings. You can use whatever you like really. You can make it your own. Nuts, seeds, dried fruit, coconut flakes, spelt flakes all work really, really well. Maybe some chili if you like that. But today, as it's Christmas, I'm going to be doing a bit of a Christmas theme. So I'm actually going to be putting some orange zest on mine, which is really festive and yummy. I'm also going to be using some almonds, some coconut flakes, some sesame seeds, some chopped up dates and some spelt flakes. So whatever you choose to use, just chop them up really, really finely, and then you're going to sprinkle them onto your chocolate. So I've got my toppings already in the bowl. They're all kind of nicely combined and in small chunks. I've now got my chilled tray out of the freezer ready to put the chocolate onto. So you're going to need a sheet of greaseproof paper. And then the fun bit, so we've got our lovely chocolate here, so just give it a bit of a mix, just make sure it's all still lovely and combined. And you're just going to pour it onto the tray and spread it around. And the cold, it's going to start turning it hard quite quickly, so you want to make sure you really spread it around. So pour it in. Just going to start spreading. Can get a bit messy this bit. So it's already starting to go hard. So what I quite like to do is do it in a couple of layers, so you can kind of establish a hard base and then add more chocolate, which kind of makes it even thicker. So that should be it. Put the bowl aside to lick in a minute. So then we're going to have our toppings. So simply you just, while it's still wet, that's quite important, you need to make sure it's still wet, you're just going to sprinkle over your toppings. And then you can just take a spoon and just push down just to make sure that it's all in the chocolate nicely. I'm going to take my zester. I'm going to add a little bit of orange zest just to kind of make it nice and festive. So in goes the zest. Oh, it smells so nice. And then finally, I'm just going to put some salt. I love chocolate and salts together. I think it's a brilliant combination. So if you do too, you can add some salt. I'm now going to put this back into the freezer for another 5 to 10 minutes, just until it's really hard, because you want to be able to snap bits off. Right, it's out of the freezer, it's nice and hard, it smells absolutely amazing. So I'm now just going to break it up into pieces. And the best thing about this is that it's completely healthy. There's nothing bad in it. The dates are really nice. The combination between the dates and the spelt flakes is really nice. The spelt flakes make it really crunchy and the dates just make it really gooey and gorgeous, and then the salt kind of mixed in, it's a bit like salted caramel. You've got to try it. So that is really it. It's best to store this in the fridge just because it will melt because of the coconut oil. So if it's left out of the fridge, it will melt. So keep it in there if it lasts longer than 5 minutes. In my house, it definitely doesn't last longer than 5 minutes. But that is really it. It's so simple, it's so quick. I really, really hope you enjoy it, and Merry Christmas!